What's up everybody, and welcome back to Abe Speaks. Got another great video for you guys. How many of you all remember your very first time riding a bike? Yeah? Alright, perfect. So what I want you to do now is to close your eyes, and I want you to visualize it. So your very first time riding a bike, what do you remember? You probably remember your hands were probably a little sweaty. It's your first time riding a bike. You're a little nervous. Maybe you remember the birds chirping outside. You remember the air blowing through your hair. Your legs are a little wobbly. You know, you're breathing kind of hard. You're a little nervous. And probably you have your parents or whoever it is in the background cheering, coaching you along, telling you to go, keep pedaling. Oh, make sure you're not going this way. Don't go this way. Oh, and next thing you know, what happens? You fall. Now I want you to open up your eyes. I remember my very first time vividly riding a bike. See this gorgeous dimple? It's actually not a dimple. It's a scar. And I remember my very first time riding a bike because every single time I look in the mirror, there it is. Now I want you to think about this for a second. Your first time trying anything isn't going to be perfect. Most of the time, right? Most of the time it's not going to be perfect. But what do? Do you keep that? Do you stop that or let that keep you away from going out and hopping back on the bike in this instance, or to keep going back and trying whatever it is again? No. You want to keep going. You want to keep doing it. You see your brothers riding their bikes. You see your friends are riding their bikes. You are determined to get this done. Now, how many of you all always have bike problems or any other problems within your life? I know there's a lot of people that have this. So how many of you all actually know what the scientific method is? The scientific method is a method that's used to actually help solve a scientific problem in most cases. But in this case, we're going to use this scientific simple method to solve our bike problems. So the very first step of the scientific method is making an observation. So you've made the observation that I fell off my bike, right? You fell off the bike. That's your observation. The very next step is forming a hypothesis. So you made the observation that I fell off my bike, and now you're wondering, how do I not fall off my bike and get another great dimple or a scar in this instance? How do you do that? So now what do? You start looking at other factors of how do I figure this out? So you can think of maybe I'll wear gloves this time so my hands aren't as sweaty because I wasn't able to grip the handlebars properly. Maybe I'm going to control my breathing and I'm not going to breathe as heavy, and so my legs aren't shaking and I'm wobbling on the bike like this. And maybe next time you're not going to listen to whoever that is coaching you along or telling you what to do because they didn't give you good directions. Maybe the sun was shining too bright in your face, so now you're going to wear sunglasses. There could be a number of factors as to why you fell off the bike, so you're scrolling through your mind thinking about, how do I not do this? How do I not do this? And the very next step of this, you're going to start testing and putting your hypothesis to use. You're going to test it. So now what do? Alright, you got your sunglasses on. You're not going to be blinded by the sun so you can see where you're going. You're going to put some gloves on so you can grip the handlebars and actually steer yourself, so you're not going to be steering all over the place and you have a good control of the handlebars. You're going to control your breathing so that your legs aren't as wobbly as you're moving forward, trying to actually control yourself and not fall off again. And you're not going to listen to your mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, friend, whoever it is that's trying to coach you along so you don't fall off. Because they didn't give you too much good advice last time, huh? Alright, perfect. So now what do? We hop on the bike, we're ready to go. You start moving, you start pedaling, you start pedaling, you start pedaling, you start pedaling. Alright, perfect. I can see now. The sun's not in my eyes. Perfect. I can grip the handlebars. Great, I'm not sweating. My hands are sweaty, but the gloves are helping me grip the handlebars better. I'm controlling my breathing, so I'm not that nervous because I'm feeling more confident. And you're listening to the cars go by. You're listening to the birds chirp instead of those bad directions that your family members or friends or whoever was giving you before. Perfect. Now you're riding the bike like a champ. Now I want you to think about this for a second. This very, very simple method of which we're taught in school can very much be applied to our life's problems. A lot of the times we don't make enough observations within our life so that we're able to actually identify what the problem is. And then afterwards, the next step, you start forming a hypothesis. A lot of us do get to this point, and a lot of us don't get to this point of, I'm going to start asking and seeing exactly and try to pinpoint exactly what went wrong within this test or this problem in my life. Now you can start learning from these, and once you see in the next step, I'm going to go back on this, and the next step after you see that you're riding the bike like a champ, what do? You keep moving forward, and now that you've seen what worked, what doesn't work, you rinse and repeat. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If there's something wrong within your method or within this system that that's not giving you the outcome what you want, all right, you go back to your hypothesis, you plug in another factor, see what works, see what doesn't work, test it again, doesn't work, okay, maybe this will work. You keep going back, and remember, this is a very, very, very simple method of which we're taught in our everyday life, that we taught earlier in school, that we somehow, some reason, forget about, that it can easily be applied to our life's problems. Maybe I'm not going to react to this person the same way I did before, or maybe I'm going to approach my significant other with a more caring approach, a more loving approach, because this is what I need to do in order to get the outcome that not just I'm desiring, that maybe we're desiring, or that you and your partner are desiring for the betterment of your relationship and for the betterment of yourselves individually. This is something that you can continuously apply over and over and over again within your life to figure out your own problems. And maybe after you feel like you've exhausted all factors or possibilities of why things went wrong, maybe you do eventually throw in the towel. Okay? Now if this is something that you've done, there is no shame in this. If you feel like you've done everything that you can within, maybe it's a relationship, or maybe it's within this person, maybe you need to ditch that person, maybe you need to ditch that excuse me, exactly your approach and how you're doing it. And maybe you just want to keep going in and finding different ways to try to knock this wall down. Not necessarily, I'm not saying this person is a wall, but we're using it as a metaphor. You're going to knock this wall down so that you can get to the desired outcome of what you want. Now, I hope that this can help you guys. I hope that you can start using this simple method within your everyday life. And let's have a great day. And until next time, guys, peace out.